Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you might be viewing from. My name is Marva B. I am the CEO and founder of Black Link Magazine, and I'm so excited to be here in the Black Link experience. We would like to welcome our special guest, EmceeN.I.C.E. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Most definitely, I appreciate it. It's a blessed day, you know what I mean? And always good to be amongst blessed people.
Absolutely. So thank you again. I can't thank you enough. So we'll just jump right into the interview. My first question is, what inspired you to do Christian music? Was it always something you did, or was there a transition that was made?
It was definitely, well, it was something I did, and then there was a transition back to it, you know? So when I first started out in rap music, I was going to a Pentecostal church. I was born in Los Angeles, but raised in El Paso, Texas. And at the time, the church wasn't really acceptive of rap music. They thought it was like the devil's music. And so I didn't understand it because I'm like, I got God bars, I'm lifting God up. And so how is it the devil's music? You know what I mean? Could I say jive music is the devil's music if it's lifting up the Lord? Like, you know, so it was real interesting. So I got kind of like, pushed away from the church, and then went into secular music, but and had some real good success. I'm sure we're going to talk about, and then transitioned back into Christian hip hop, where God was like, I need you to bring all that stuff you learned, all that knowledge you gained in the secular side, and need you to lead our people or install our people with the information that they lack. And that's what it's been.
Absolutely. I'm just thrilled to death about it. I have an 18-year-old son who's into music, into rap, and my mom is just begging him, please just do a Christian song. You can still be successful. So we're gonna let him see this interview and see if we can talk him into doing that. But anyway, I understand the fact of the church, especially. I'm not sure how far back it was that you were doing that in the church, but some people really frown on rap music. So was it that the church didn't accept it, that you said, okay, forget it, I'm just going to go secular and I'm going to make my success over here? Was it the people that swayed you, or did you say, I can do both? How did that work?
No, it was what it was, the church, the people of the church, because the church is the people. So the church itself, like, not only shunned it, but was telling you, oh, you going to hell, oh, you going, you know what I'm saying? It was just like that vibe. You got them real Bible thumpers. It's like, who really don't understand the word for what it is. You know what I mean? They tend to lean more on cherry picking scriptures to tell you what you were doing wrong or doing right. You know what I mean? And so for me, it was just a matter of, at the time going to college, the head of the college had to step down because he cheated on his wife. Right. He had to come before the church, and he was the head pastor. Right. And then the pastor behind him, like a month later, had to step down because he cheated on his wife. So I'm sitting there going, yo, at the end of the day, why am I here? You know what I'm saying? The bottom line is, if you guys is doing this here, well, how does that even? And then you want to blast me for doing God bars. I'm rapping about the Lord and about all the things he's done for me. And yet you're telling me that's of the devil. Yeah. But you can sing rap, but they sing rap when they preach though. And the Lord, it said he's coming to take you away. And when you lift up, you know what I'm saying? Like they get into a rhythm. So how is that not worshiping the devil? If that's, what I mean, if we want to play semantics. I've always been a proponent for, one, strive for perfection so that you limit your mistakes, right? Yeah. God knows we're not a perfect people. We were never meant to be perfect. And if you really check out scripture, and I don't mean to get spiritual right here, right?
It's all good.
So Jesus died on the cross for our sins and our sins to come. Right. You see what I'm saying? So God already knew that we was going to be that. So that's why it's like walk by faith and not by sight. Those are some real words, because man will mislead you. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man will mislead, and religion was never created by God, it was created by man. So if you really understand, the word, then that you have to seek God for yourself. And the interpretation is going to come based on your level of understanding.
It's a whole fact. That's
You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, that's just where I'm at. And I've been prosperous in the fact that I don't let man sway me. And at the end of the day, I know, who I am within the body of Christ. I know that I'm not perfect, but every day I strive for perfection so that I limit my mistakes. Well, if you really think about it from this standpoint, we all believers, right? Look at the award shows. Who the first? I mean, the most gangsterist of all gangsters. Shout out to the Lord. Pour one up for the homie. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end, I mean, so at the end of the day, they know.
Yeah.
It's just that when you put it's when society puts rules on it, all of a sudden people become rebellious.
That's
but
right.
They know because you feel it. It ain't, you know what I mean? Right. So that's why I don't really, I lead by example. I lead by being the best, man of faith that I can possibly be, and if that inspires you, fantastic. If it doesn't, hopefully a song will, or, something that I've done will, you know what I mean? So that's just the move I'm on.
I love that. So let's talk about, being in the secular world is what people call it. I just said in the world of music and entertainment. And you were very successful. Let's talk about some of the successes you had on that side and some of the things that you did when you were in that arena.
Yeah, it's crazy because I started in the 90s, you know what I mean? With the first Latin rap group in the history of rap music to crack the Billboard charts open, which was a group called Lighter Shade of Brown, right? And so started with Lighter Shade of Brown, and then we ended up doing the Greatest Hits album, and then transitioned into production where I was one of the producers on Tupac. One of the producers for N.I.C.E, Thug's Mansion, actually the acoustic version. So it's like, it's not just a record for Tupac, it's one of the most iconic records for Tupac, and obviously it's right after he died, but it still was like the first words you heard after he died, and it was an acoustic situation. So I did 8 motion picture soundtracks, one on one, an Oscar movie called Crash, but Mr. and Mrs. Smith International with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, Kicking It Old School with Jamie Kennedy, Haven with Zoe Saldana, and Once in a Lifetime with ESPN. You know what I mean? And then I did the theme song. I was in a group called Kansas Cali. Yeah, so I did a theme song in 2010 with for the NBA before doing a solo album as EmceeN.I.C.E, the secular artist, with Stacey Dash, the actress Stacey Dash. So the video's out there, and she actually singing on the album. In fact, we were co-signed by Russell Simmons, but it was the Stacey's stance against Obama that hindered the record. So, Black Twitter jumped all on us. You know what I mean? So, they like, she's doing this to sell records. I'm like, it's not her record, it's mine. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't understand that part. So they got at us, and then I had to stay down for about 6 months to let that blow over. Came out with another record with the Indian artist called Suhana Machete, and that record went on the Billboard charts for like 13 weeks. So that was, it was just in the hot single sales, and it just let me know that, okay, we can do this. And I was starting to bubble, and then the Lord was like, yo, that's cool and all, but I need you to take your talents to, back to Christian hip hop, because I was really starting to bubble. I had the first African-American animated music series on Netflix called The Jammies. It's out now. It's still out, right? It's on Amazon Prime, Apple TV. So it's called The Jammies, DAJAMMIES with the space, right? And so once I came back to Christian hip hop, nobody knew who I was, but God wanted me to show that the Christian hip hop artists that, a high level of success is very attainable. So I ended up getting 5 #1 records on the Billboard charts, including the #1 gospel album as an independent, you know what I mean? And
wow.
And that led to, more endeavors. I know I can keep going, but
oh my gosh, I didn't even have a clue. I didn't know. And I'm just like, yeah, who am I talking to? Right. So the transition back, right? I talked to another artist who was in Atlantic Star's Secret Lover. She was the lead singer, right?
Talene. Yeah, I know her. I know Talene. Yeah.
And she's in gospel right now, but
I know we just hung out. Yeah, I just won because I own a radio station, the largest Christian hip hop radio station in the world, right? And so we were at the Spin Awards together, where I won radio executive of the year and radio man of the year.
She's
You know
my
what I mean?
friend. She's my
Ask her about me.
she talked about the transition and that maybe, yes, she's in the gospel, but it's something might come up that she does sing, I hate to call it secular music because it's just music to me, but she may do a little bit of that, right? But she's, for the most part, gospel. What was your transition back? Because you made your mark in the secular world, and then God, you got to follow God and what he tells you to do. And so you made that transition. How was that? Because you said you wasn't known. Did you get pushed back again?
Well, one is, when you come in and you already establish your own situation, it's hard for the community to try to lock you out because you already have other resources that allows you to thrive.
That's true.
So the first thing I caught was the pushback from the community. I didn't even know Christians could be Christian musicians and like my peers could be so like, ruthless and cutthroat. Like for real. Like gospel is it's a little more dangerous than secular, if you believe it or not, because secular, it is what it is, y'all. Yeah. This is what the agreement is. This is what we're gonna make, but the gospel, they come for you. And if you're not in their little circle, then the best move is to remove you. You know what I mean? So yeah, I caught the backlash of that community, but and 9 times out of 10 is because most people think, oh well, he's transitioning from secular into gospel because he couldn't make it over there at the secular side, so he's going to come over here and try to blow up and then go back. And I'm just like, nah, not the case, because I had way success as a secular level. I could have stayed there, but I was doing what the Lord wanted me to do, right? And so once that year went by, I hit all the charts, and then all of a sudden, people's like, okay, well, let's see what he does, and then I mess around and win a Stellar Award, right? And so, and then I turned around and won 7 Spin Awards, right? You know what I'm saying? God. So, and
the God thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, see, the thing is being a Christian hip hop artist, they're the least. They get paid the least amount of money, right? But they're used the most. So, for instance, all the video, like a lot of video games, TV commercials, and movies, all the songs that come out are predominantly Christian hip hop. So whether it was the NBA player Giannis Antetokounmpo who won the MVP, he released a set of headphones. Well, the song was a Christian hip hop artist, and in the commercial was a Christian hip hop artist. So you had people like a dude named Shepherd, right? Nobody really knows who Shepherd is, but his song "Game Time" is in the new Space Jam movie, right? Right before LeBron James get ready to play the game, he's in the locker room. Well, that's the song you hear come on prior to. And then we have Wande and Lecrae and all of them, and Derek Minor, who are all in like got spots on TV shows. Lecrae, ESPN, Wande did Apple, and then you have Angie Rose, who did ESPN. I'm sorry, NBA 2K. I mean Madden. She's on the Madden situation. So all these artists are getting placements all over, but they're not really making the real money. So ultimately, what God had me doing was going, okay, N.I.C.E, this is what I need you to do. Show them that it can be done, and then go fight for them, right? So I showed them that it can be done as an independent with the number ones on it. I'm gunning for another number one. My album comes out January 14th, so I'm gunning for another one somehow, right?
You got you.
But what happens is labels were then going, well, I went and met with some labels.
Right.
Once you start elevating, everybody want a piece of the money, right? So I start meeting with the labels, and the labels was like, hey, N.I.C.E, we can't give you $1 million deal, even though we know you have 5 number one records, because Christian rap don't have radio. Christian rap don't have venues outside of churches, that supports it. Christian rap don't have the media, its own media that supports it. And so they're like, how do we make our money back? If we give you $1 million, how do we make that $1 million plus back?
Right.
And when you think about that, you go, man, that's kind of like accurate. You know what I'm saying? And so what we set out to do was going, okay, how do it went from me to we. So it's how do I get us paid as a genre, as a culture, right? So I started a radio station called God's House of Hip Hop Radio, right? We became the first faith-based hip hop radio station to be a BDS radio station with Nielsen and Billboard, right? So we opened up that door, and then in opening that door, we were nominated for a Stellar, and then became the first gospel hip hop radio station in the history of Stellars to win a Stellar Award, right? And so we have that situation. What that ultimately did was got a lot of other people saying, "Wow, I didn't know Christian rap radio, gospel radio, hip hop radio was cool." So now we had like 7 other stations come in, and now BDS has created an official Christian hip hop chart, right? So that's right. So we got that checked off. Then it was like venues outside of churches. Right. Okay, how do we solve that? So with our radio station, we created the first ever faith-based hip hop music festival that will take place September 22nd. We rented out a whole stadium in Los Angeles, the Bank of California Stadium. The festival's called God's House of Hip Hop 2020 Summerfest. 2020 not meaning year, but 2020 meaning vision, saying that through your faith, you have perfect vision, right? And so, and which we've already got 75 artists on the roster that's going to perform, including myself as a headliner, but we got the who's who and the what's what of the Christian hip hop industry. But now, because we've had 2 years, I'm going to add a super headliner that will be announced in January. So, but it will shock the world though. Yeah, so it's in fact, we have Curtis Blow as one of the hosts, right? And so, and then we have Willie Moore Jr. and I think Chris Chicago. So, it's a big deal, right? And so, but the whole point behind it was I needed to show the industry that there's a whole ecosystem for the culture so that it can open up other doors elsewhere. We've already signed a deal with Africa to bring the festival to Ghana in 2024 at the Accra Stadium in Ghana, right? And so, and with that festival, we're gonna let the Africans in for free. So you got 80,000 arena, you know what I mean? You got 50,000 people get up in there. That's a whole situation. That's a whole vibe. So it's a plan around how to help this culture thrive, even though I may not be the one winning in it. You know what I mean? Because I'm retiring from music these next 3 albums. So I'm putting out 3 albums.
Right.
And it's called Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. The name of the album is called Iron Dove. And Act 1 is called The Blessed Coast. Act 2 is called 1919, based on the book of Revelations, 1919, going to war, right? And then Act 3 is called Kumbaya, right? Where, it's we done hashed out. Let's come together and do what the Lord wants us to do. And then, that'll be it for me. And then I'll be in the music industry as an executive, hopefully ushering in new talent with new vibes.
Yeah, that's a whole interview's over. That's it. That's a lot. Congratulations on all your success. Like,
thank you.
Gosh, that's a lot. That's a lot. And it's hard work. And so, because it sounds easy, right? And when we're on the outside looking in, it's like we just see the end results. What do you give and what is your advice to people that want to get in this music business, whatever side they come in on?
Well, I got 2 things. One, I'm writing a book called SWAT Your Life. Right. So SWAT your life. I'll get into that. Okay. But the first model, the first, I guess, inspiration for me is the quote, "For any great achievement, someone has to be the first to do it. So why not you?" Hey, when Dr. King started on him and a couple of others started on that walk in Selma, you know what I'm saying? By the time they got to the end of that, when they started, it was just a few of them.
Right.
But by the time they got to the end of that bridge, it was everybody. You know what I'm saying? My name is MC Nice. and it's nice, N.I.C.E. with the periods, right? The periods, my peers call me novelist because I write, right? So N.I.C.E stands for, well, MC is because I'm a lyricist, right? First off and foremost, like I'm a real lyricist. So, and then N.I.C.E is novelist, is constantly evolving, right? So every day I wake up, I evolve. As I told you, I'm writing a book called SWAT Your Life. So SWAT Your Life. And so you're asking me for any artist that wants to know how to do it, right? So this is SWAT Your Life for musicians. And SWAT, anybody that's put together a business plan, know what SWAT means, right? But if you don't know what SWOT means, SWOT, it means strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? So any investor that's coming in wants to know that you understand the analytics of your company, the ins and outs. You know, whether it fails or whether it wins, like you need to know how to troubleshoot.
Right.
So what are the strengths of your company? What are the weaknesses, that you see? What are the opportunities that you can take advantage of? And what are the threats that could hinder you? So you take that and make it applicable to yourself. I always tell people, SWOT yourself first. What are your strengths? Write it down and be honest with you, though. Be honest with you. If you can't be honest with yourself, you ain't gonna win.
That's right.
Period. Right. So what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities that you can take advantage of or that you might have missed? And what are the threats that's going to hinder you, or prevent you? I mean, that's going to prevent you or propel you, So when you do that, then you have an understanding of who you are, right? And then you take that SWOT and make it applicable to anything you get in. So like, for instance, my album I'm putting out is 17 tracks, right? 13 songs. But I made it, I swatted the album. What are the strengths of my album? What are the weaknesses? What are the opportunities I will be able to take advantage of when it comes to servicing this record? Are there any sponsors that I could go after? Is there any opportunities that I could take advantage of in regards to certain songs, on that? So you do that. What are the threats? Is it people gonna say that the album is too many tracks, or the songs are too long because everybody's listening to 2-minute songs and that's it. But at the end of the day, it's what makes me feel good. And at the same time, if I stick to my convictions and know and really wholeheartedly believe, then I know that's what's up. But when people get the album, Act 1, 2, and 3, it represents, the Holy Trinity. You know what I'm saying? The Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Right. Then when you look at the 17 tracks, 1 + 7 is 8. You turn the 8 on its side, it's infinite. So I'm telling you, God is infinite. You see what I mean?
You are so brilliant.
Right. So you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that I'm giving you God, right, in so many ways that when you start understanding it, you go, oh, wait, hold up. No, like for real. So that's how I think. And it's always, you need marketing behind whatever it is that you put out. Right. So a lot of today's albums don't have like full blown like structure to it. People come out with songs, or they might come out with a little EP and then call that an album. But I'm like, you're only giving people 17 to 22 minutes of listening versus, back in the day, albums was meant to give you the experience, you know what I mean? And so for me, it's about providing the experience. So as a new artist, if you're an artist coming in, or even if you're an established artist and you don't have your SWOT game together, you will not be successful because you won't know. And you won't know what's going on, because even as an artist, when I put out a song, I got to go, okay, SWOT. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? Right. Well, at the end of the day, who's the DJs that are playing? You know what I mean? Like, if you don't know that, then how do you service them? What are the BPMs of their playlists, so that if you got a song that's 82 BPM, right? You can go, and the DJ's playlist is only at 81. He's not gonna play your record.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you go, okay, well, what's your BPM? DJ say, well, I play a range from 64 to 92. So you know that any record you create, if it's within this space, 9 times out of 10, your record will get played. You see what I'm saying? So, and it's all at the same time knowing who's who and what's. That's what I'm saying. Well, now I'm an ambassador for a company called the EmceeN.I.C.E, right? And so the musicrc.com is where people can go as an artist. And what's happening is it's a song for all the songwriters to register your music. What happens is it registers your music all over the place. So a lot of people go to DistroKid, TuneCore, or whatever. Yeah, but their registration only applies to the algorithms of whoever they're servicing, whether it be iTunes, Pandora. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what the Music RC does is it makes sure that your record is registered so that royalties can be collected everywhere. You know what I mean? But also on the musicrc.com, they have what they call freemiums, which is they explain to you exactly what ISRC is, what BPMs is, what publishing companies are, and that's all free. You know what I'm saying? And then, and I think the downloads, like it's like $1.99, the downloads for record rollouts, like premium. They got premium stuff, but freemium stuff. So what that is, it tells you. So, pretty much if you swatting yourself, you'll know that at the end of the day, if you follow, the SWAT, you'll be successful. It's worked for me, and I continue to be successful.
I like it. Well, my closing question was, what's next for you? But you've already laid it out.
Well, what's next for me is my album. So,
3 albums.
So my first album comes out January. It's on pre-order now. So if you want to pre-order it off of iTunes, you can do that. You get a free track with it. Also, what I'm doing is when you buy the album, you know how back in the day you used to get the CDs, you pull out the J cards and whatever. So now I'm giving you a digital J card, right? So you can go and look and see who's produced and whatever. And those that buy the record and send me the receipt, when the record comes out, I'm gonna send you a lyric book. So you'll get the lyrics to every single song on the album. You know what I mean? Just in case, you have any questions about anything, you can just see it for yourself. So that comes out. The pre-sale's happening now, but the album releases January 14th. It's called Iron Dove. It's got my man Fred Hammond on it. It's got Bishop Cortez Vaughn on it. It's got Uncle Reese. It's got a host of people that you wouldn't anticipate would be on the record. But that's the whole point, is to keep amplifying God's word in a way that is more than just palatable, but relatable.
Kudos to you and everything that you do and all your successes that you have made. It's always an honor to see our people thriving, and when we support one another, we level up. So we support you over here at Black Link Magazine.
I appreciate it.
And so where can people find you on all social media sites?
Oh man. So on Twitter and Instagram, it's EmceeN.I.C.E LA. That's EmceeN.I.C.E LA. That's Twitter and Instagram. On Facebook is EmceeN.I.C.E Music. And YouTube is EmceeN.I.C.E TV. You know what I'm saying? And then EmceeN.I.C.E.com. Be sure to check out the radio station, GH3 Radio, God's House of Hip Hop. You can catch my radio show come on every Saturday, God's Calamari. So we go in on them. You know what I mean? And man, you want to hear some quality music, that's where you go. And just at the end of the day, if you push purpose and keep faith steadfast and focused, you'll be all right.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for being here, you guys.
I appreciate you having me.
Go out and follow him on every site, all social media sites. Follow him, share it, make your comments on there. Go to iTunes, pre-order the album. What else? He got 3 albums coming out, so watch.
Right. I do got one more thing.
Okay, let's go.
I got a book out. It's called 50 Shades of Love, LOVE. I'm a man of acronyms. So 50 Shades of Love, and LOVE means learning our various emotions, right? So I believe in order to love somebody, you have to learn somebody, right? So in everything we do in life, we have to learn, whether it's walking, talking, driving, or your job. So learning our various emotions. If I learn the emotions that govern you, I can therefore love you, right? It's when we stop learning, we stop loving, because at the end of the day, we evolve every day. So in order to you know, to stay consistent, we have to evolve, you know, and be willing to do that. So learning our various emotions. My name is Alessandro. So it's Alessandro Novelist Hamilton is the author.
Oh,
Myself.
wow.
Right. And so, yeah, definitely check that out. And for those that don't like reading, I did give it to you in the audio version. You know what I mean? So,
you found out that, right?
Yeah. I don't want no excuses.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I don't really read though. You know what I'm saying? That's all right.
Listen.
You can listen. So, yeah, but yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you again, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's so much. Just listen to the entire interview.
Most definitely.
Get everything that you need. So we're going to get out of here for now, but remember to respect yourself, respect each other. God bless.